Lyrics! You want them in your charts? Here is how you do that thing. Alright, first things first is you want to make sure you're on the latest version of EOF or Moonscraper, so go do that. If you're using a different charting program, I'm sorry, I can't really help you with that. I'm only really good with these ones. With EOF, basically that involves just going to the EOF website and downloading the latest version and the hotfix. And with Moonscraper, it involves going into the Moonscraper Discord and downloading the latest test build. Now with that done, it's time to learn how lyrics work. So lyrics in-game are made up of 3 parts: words, syllables, and phrases. Words are pretty simple and self-explanatory. They are the words that make up the lyrics, like the ones I'm saying right now. Syllables are pieces of words that are split up into multiple pieces over time, kind of like how, syllables work. Phrases are collections of words that show up in-game as lyric lines. Alright, so this tutorial is basically in 2 parts because EOF and Moonscraper have different workflows, so their timestamps are shown on screen now. Skip to whatever one you want to use, I don't really care what you do. Okay, cool. So adding lyrics in Moonscraper is a bit tedious, but it's totally doable. So the first thing you want to do to make your life easier, wander over to your Moonscraper install folder, open up the global events.txt file, and add the following phrases to the top of the text file: phrase_start, phrase_end, and lyric with a space after it. Yes, that space is important. Don't skip it, I swear to God. So you don't actually have to do this, but it'll make your life a tad easier, so do it. Alright, cool. So open up Moonscraper now. Lyrics are done in global view. That's the one with the waveform on by default, by the way. Lyrics in the .chart format that Moonscraper uses are created using global events. These are under the blue flag icon and appear on the left side of the highway while you're in global view. To add a lyric, place an event on the side of the highway just like you would place a section on the other side, or just like you would place a note. Its placement depends on timing as well, so make sure that's accurate too. Once the event is added, change it to a lyric event using the entry we added to the global event, so you can do that in the bottom left corner by clicking the button that says lyric. From there, just click on the text box and it'll open up this fancy box and you can add your lyric here. Make sure there's a space between lyric and the word that you add, because if there isn't, it's just not gonna work and you screwed it up, dude. Lyric events only contain 1 word, so don't try to be lazy and throw the whole freaking lyric line in there. Charting isn't a place to be lazy, so put the effort in, come on. But you may be asking yourself, Aaron, what about syllables? Yeah, they're pretty easy. So say you want a word to be highlighted in different pieces, but you want it to show up as one connected word. So at the end of each section that you want to be highlighted individually, just use a dash. It'll show up as a connected word to everything else that's after that thing with a dash. So say you have the word syllable, put syll dash, put la dash, and then put bull, and it'll show up as one connected word in game, highlighted separately. If it comes up to a case where you need to use an actual dash in your lyric, instead of putting a dash in your lyric event, use the equal sign. Also, side note, because lyric events are stored in the global events in the .chart format, you can't use full quotation marks in your lyrics, so just use single quotations if you need to do a quote. Okay, cool. So now that you've done that, you can repeat this process to add all the words you'll ever need. But you're not done there, by the way. You gotta add phrases now. Phrases are the things that split the lyrics into lines and tell the game when to show those lines. This is where the phrase start and phrase end events come in. Slap a phrase start event just before the first word in a line, and then slap a phrase end at the end of the line after the last lyric in that line is done being sang. Sometimes things can get a little bit cramped, but it's always best to try and slap the phrase start before the first lyric in the line. Also, the phrase end event isn't totally necessary, but it's good practice, so get used to doing it. So with all of your lyrics added and the phrases included, your charts should now show your lyrics in game. Just be sure to test them a bunch and make sure you didn't typo anything, because I'd rather sing along to syllables rather than syllables personally, but I mean maybe that's just me, I don't know. So yeah, like I said, adding lyrics in Moonscraper is a little bit tedious, but there are other options you can do for the .chart format that make it a little bit easier. The workflow I personally use, slap down a bunch of lyric events, but don't fill in the lyrics, just have a bunch of lyric space blank events in Moonscraper, just doing the timing placement. Then open up that chart file in your text editor of choice and add the lyrics in there manually. It's a bit faster if you can get used to the workflow, but it typically needs a bit more testing just to make sure you put everything in the right places. Okay, cool, that's it. You can leave now unless you want to know how to do it in EOF too. That's everything, thanks. Okay, cool. EOF people, you have it a little bit easier. Lyrics are pretty easy to add in this thing, so good job, you're using a good program. First up, load your song, then click on Song, Track, Part Vocals. This will bring up the vocals track. it's spoopy looking because there's a piano roll and we're like musical scrubs and don't know how to do that. But don't worry, we don't need to worry about it. It's fine. The top line on the MIDI track where there's like no notes or anything is where the lyrics themselves go, and the corresponding notes to those lyrics will be at the very bottom of the MIDI roll, indicating that it's just a lyric and not like an actual vocal phrase. So add the notes in there. When you add a note, it'll ask you what you want for the lyrics. This is where you put that word. You literally just type whatever your lyric is in that box. Did you screw it up the first time? Did you typo or something? Don't worry, click on the lyric to select it, then hit L on your keyboard. It'll bring that lyric editor box back up so you can fix your issues, dude. Lyric events only contain one word, so like don't try to be lazy and throw the whole freaking lyric line in there. Charting isn't the place to be lazy, so put the effort in, come on. But you may be asking yourself, Aaron, what about syllables? Yeah, they're pretty easy. So like say you want a word to be highlighted in different pieces, but you want it to show up as one connected word. So at the end of each section that you want to be highlighted individually, just use a dash. It'll show up as a connected word to everything else that's after that thing with a dash. So like say you have the word syllable, put syll dash, put la dash, and then put bull, and it'll show up as one connected word in game, highlighted separately. If it comes up to a case where you need to use an actual dash in your lyric, instead of putting a dash in your lyric event, use the equal sign. Also, make sure your note lengths on that MIDI roll match the lengths of the lyrics that are being sung. You can adjust these note lengths with your scroll wheel while the note is selected. Alright, cool, now that you've done that, you can repeat this process into infinity and then add all the words you'll ever need. But we're not done, there's still more to do. But now you gotta add phrases. Phrases are those things that split the lyrics up into different lines and tell the game when to show those lines and like when to not, because it'd be a little bit cramped if they were literally all on the screen at once. Literally all you have to do is just select all of the lyrics you have in a line by selecting the first word, holding shift, and then selecting the last word. It should select all of the words in between as well. Then hit Control M. It'll highlight all of those words in blue. That indicates that is a phrase. With that done, congratulations. Just repeat that for all of your phrases and then you're done. With all of your lyrics added and phrases included, your charts should now show your lyrics in game. Just be sure to test them a bunch and make sure you didn't typo anything, because like I'd rather sing along to syllables and syllables personally, but like maybe that's just me. Alright, cool, that's it. Thanks for listening. Bye.